In this next chapter, we're going to be doing a lot of solving of quadratics, so a lot more solving equations that have x squared or some combination of x squared with x. And to do that, a lot of times we're going to use some square roots. So I want to give you guys a quick overview of some things that I need you to know about square roots. You already know some things. For example, you guys definitely know the square root of 25 equals, 5. Square root of something like 49 equals 7. So if you know things like root 25 equals 5 and root 49 equals 7, then you understand that a square root asks the question, what number can I multiply by itself to get what's underneath the radical? This symbol here is called a radical, also called the square root symbol. Here's what I need for you to understand. Most numbers, when you try to square root them, they don't come out pretty. If I try to square root a 50, or if I try to square root like a 72, you'll see that I really, off the top of my head, can't think of a number that multiplies by itself to give those values. And if you bust out a calculator and try to do a square root of 50, you'll see you get this crazy string of decimals that it looks like it ends here, but honestly, this decimal approximation never ends. It never repeats. If you try to write this whole thing out all the way till the end, you would literally spend your whole lifetime doing it, and you would never finish. So we will spend a lot of time talking about how to simplify these sorts of things, not give decimals. And to do that, we will focus solely on the numbers that we can square root mentally, and these would be our perfect squares. So as we go through this entire section, I want you guys to really be thinking about perfect squares as often as you can. Perfect squares are numbers that you get when you multiply a number by itself. The two most boring ones I can think of are 0 and 1. 0 is a perfect square, it's 0 times 0. 1's a perfect square, it's 1 times 1. Then they get more interesting. We got 4, which is 2 times 2, 9, which is 3 times 3, 16, 25, and we can literally do this forever. You guys should definitely know the ones up to and including, I would say, whatever 12 squared is, which happens to be 144. Any one of these numbers, if I put them underneath the square root symbol, I can tell you the answer. But I'll tell you what, if you see a number that's not one of these under a square root symbol, we're going to have some work to do, and you'll see that throughout this chapter. So when it's all said and done, there's two things I definitely want you guys to know. I want you to know that a square root symbol, also called a radical, asks the question what number multiplies by itself to give the number underneath that radical. And I need you to know that only these numbers have what we call pretty square roots, ones you could do in your head. Anything else, when you pop it in a calculator, it's going to be something nasty like this. And while we will sometimes want the decimal approximation, usually we're going to want to try to refer to these numbers to help us simplify things down. Good luck moving forward.